You're on. We're on.
Hello, folks. Sorry we're a few minutes late.
No, we aren't. A few seconds.
Well, I looked up the clock. No.
Go back.
All right. Well, while we're waiting for, and she just walks in.
Our clock is a lot different than yours.
I always look at the computer because that's synced. Sunk.
Who, what?
The computer clocks are
Well,
synced.
that's probably a pretty
Thank you.
good one to go by.
Yeah, that's what I always go by.
If you want to, may start in.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. We're got some good news about halfway through the meeting. That's called the teaser. So you're going to listen now and call your friends and say, listen.
What he's talking about.
Can you do this? And I just put the June with the credit and what else for it?
Danielle?
So Becky just dropped off all the school budget and school vote information last week.
Okay.
May 1st is the SAD 55 public school budget meeting at 7 p.m. at the school. May 16th is the district referendum vote at the town office from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Okay?
What day of the week is that?
I believe it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I guess I won't offer to help.
May 1st is Monday. Yes, it is a Tuesday.
Okay.
I spoke to Bangor Savings today, and they have a credit card option for us. In June, they are actually housing their own credit card. It's not a third party, and that will be available in June. And she said that is something that we could apply for and do the paperwork. It's very simple, and I'm just having a hard time with people's. So it's just another option.
Okay. The only problem is the only funds we have there are reserved funds.
She says, well, it's a credit card. I mean,
Well,
it's gonna,
I understand, but, so we would be billed? Yeah, I was thinking money would come out of the account automatically, but not necessarily.
no, it's just like a regular credit card.
Oh, well, I'd say find out about it.
And since we have the reserves account, that leaves us open to, that's
Yeah.
available to us.
Yeah.
So just another option.
Yeah,
Ann is still on vacation. She'll be back next week, and she's planning on coming Tuesday for half an hour. So
okay. What time is that?
I haven't heard because she's been on vacation.
Okay.
They said that she would do whatever. So
Okay, good, thank you.
I think it was at 2 to 2:30. She was thinking 2 o'clock to start. So.
Okay.
I talked to Jen last week, and we were wondering, I guess the gym bathrooms are getting used quite a bit with the senior coffee and the luncheons once a month. So we were wondering if Delcy could maybe clean those bathrooms.
Yep.
I think it should be expanded to include those as long as she's willing and the price is not exorbitant.
Okay. We haven't seen her since that conversation, so.
She's
do you want
pretty
us to-
reasonable. I thought $140 is pretty reasonable for the rest of the building, so I'm guessing it's not gonna be too outrageous, but find out.
All right, we'll talk to Delcy when she comes in. And just a general reminder, this Friday is the deadline to sign up for this month's Community Cafe. Pam Pride is the one organizing that. She can be reached at 625-3781, or her email is pride04092@gmail.com. For tax collection updates, I do have an edit on this. My last report had 2022 and 2023 taxes together. So that was an error, and I made the correction on this report. So 93.4% of 2022 have been received, and a little over 10,000 of 2023 tax prepayments have been received today.
So my only comment, and this is not aimed at you, Danielle, this is in general. We need to come up with what our standard is for referring to years. It had always been that our year, I mean, we're on July to June fiscal year, and our years were either referred to from with the beginning, the first year, because, oh, I'm sorry. These are prepayments. Never mind, cancel that.
Yeah, prepayments.
Yeah, it's fine.
The figure that was reported was those two figures put together, and I couldn't understand why I was off that much. That's why. When I
Perfect.
ran the report, it was 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
And that was the discrepancy, so I just straightened it out there.
All right. Well, I don't think anybody but you picked up on it, so
Okay.
no harm, no foul. We didn't go to the bank with the numbers.
I do have a question, and maybe this is coming up later, on ACO contact information.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
All right, thank you very much, Daniel.
Yep.
We have approved today's agenda and signed last week's notes. And the bill, same thing, send checks out and approve checks for next week. Ads, there'll be additional ads in the shopping guide to go over the snow plowing contract for the next couple of weeks. People will have until, oh, I know, April something or other. May, wait, hang on a minute here, folks. The bids are due in by May 9th. So people have until May 9th to submit their snow plowing contract quotes. The CEO report, we received the CEO report for the month of March. So the code enforcement officer is caught up. Handled 56 calls in March in about 44 hours. And 2 new building permits and a plumbing permit, so.
What do you, I've got different numbers. Are you,
So he has February here, but he's given us February. This has to be March.
he gave us March. It says March.
Oh,
Here you go.
he gave me February.
Okay.
Good.
There's March.
Thank you. God sakes. Okay, well, 1 building permit, 1 plumbing permit, 44 calls, and he spent about 32 hours with it. Anyways, thank you.
You're welcome. You can keep it.
I'd just give him credit for a bad month, he just didn't change it.
Yep.
All right. So that's the CEO report. And as we mentioned before, all of these reports will be summarized and will be in the annual report in September, so people have a good idea of what's going on in the town. We've had our York County Sheriff's report that came in a week ago. Animal Control Officer came in to talk to us today about she felt like she should resign. So for a couple of hours, we didn't have an animal control officer. However, we got on the phone and called a few people, and Richard Gilbert of Parsonsfield.
Gibo.
Gilbert. Gilbert
Yeah,
will be our new animal control officer. He did the job about, I'm going to say 4 years ago, maybe?
yeah.
At
4
least.
or 5, yeah.
Well, okay, so he's had experience in the town, and we're happy he was available to come back and do the job. The details are going to be worked out at a later date, but we certainly wanted the town to be covered the next week or two. I would say call, how are we going to do? Call the state police, I guess?
No,
We have a number for
call,
him?
I assume,
Dispatch has been called and state police has been called.
Okay, and if you have, and obviously the town
contacting
office.
him.
Ricky called and gave him all the contact information.
Are we supposed to tell people to call?
Oh, I would
Or
tell him to call Ricky. I
Okay.
don't know, let me check with him tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, please do.
Yeah,
And he'll need to come in and get sworn in.
Yes.
We're appointing him now, but
Yeah.
that does not make him the ACO until he's sworn in.
yeah.
So that'll get resolved the next week. And we do have the last report from Kristen. 5 or 6 incidents, all basically concerning dogs not being there or being where they shouldn't be. Comprehensive Committee. The next meeting is April 25th, 6 o'clock, so committee members, April 25th, and visitors, April 25th, 6 o'clock. No news on the Robinson Mill. However, we just found out, and that's why we're a minute or two late starting. The Stanley Building is under contract. So,
Not with us, though.
No, not with us.
if we didn't buy it,
No. Well, you want to clarify things like that.
it's under contract with the group that is purchasing the mill. So it'll be one, eventually, not one unit, but ownership, I guess.
Hopefully, we should start seeing some improvements by the end of the summer. It's wishful thinking, isn't it?
It is. They were talking about paint today, so.
Yeah.
Progress, folks.
Slow as it may be.
We have a Dirigo Engineering culvert that's going to be used. Their company will be used to replace a culvert on Middle Road. It's a $15,000 culvert.
Huh?
Well, all the work associated.
Oh,
with it.
so it's not a new culvert then? I wondered what was going on there. That's just an estimate to fix what's there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I was
Yeah.
going to say, because that is not a $15,000 culvert.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a bridge.
This is to repair from our bridge report.
Right.
They felt was.
Yeah.
Right.
This is going over South River, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I was just going through it, and I couldn't make heads or tails of it, because I knew it would cost a lot more than that to
Yeah.
replace that
And
bridge.
hopefully this will be part of the FEMA funds, which we get reimbursed, the storm and all that
Oh,
stuff.
that bridge isn't that old, is it? Didn't Dave Mudgett replace it? Or, I mean, didn't he have it replaced? when he-
Yeah, yeah, he did. This one over the South River
Yeah.
on
Correct.
Middle Road. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't, yeah, but yes, that's been done in the time that we've been here in this building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're based upon the recommendations of our road commissioner, the project, we're saying go ahead with this.
Yeah. Now, Dirigo Engineering is just the engineering firm.
Right.
They aren't the ones that are going to do the work.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe so.
We have the rescue report, the monthly rescue report, which is very good. 82 calls. Our rescue answered 76 of them, so mutual aid for 6. Cornish was the most with 28 calls, Porter 27, and Parsonsfield 12. All this, does this go on the website?
That's what I was just asking her for. I don't get those, so she's gonna give me a copy.
Okay. And
Jesse.
average response time to scene, 12 minutes, 12.6. That's tone to arrival, they say, but we have asked rescue to clarify that because Parsonsfield, we feel, is a lot longer response time. We'd like to get an accurate number for Parsonsfield, so I left a message with Mike Hatch, the chief, to see if he could do that. Theater of America update. We haven't had a chance to talk about that. I think there were 4 people nominated. 2 we felt were really worthy of the award. And I think we're going to decide on one of those 2 people in the next week. We want to make sure the person that we decide on is willing to accept the award, so I will have, I'm sure, a name next week for you. CMP contact, we have a new CMP contact. Debbie did a lot of work with the old contact, Jennifer Mazzaro,
One more folder, Dave.
which helped us remove, how many streetlights did we remove? 12? 20?
Somewhere in that vicinity. Jeff knows, I'm sure. Between 12 and 20, I would say.
So, which saved us a few bucks on the streetlights, so. And she gave us the person who will be in
He hasn't
contact
signed
with us for future CMP projects. The road commissioner, he's the posting of Lloyd Mill Bridge. I think that was rated 30
It is now.
30 tons, it is now. And the road commissioner is also taking down all of the heavy load signs on our roads.
Posted.
Yeah, you haven't signed that one, Ed.
Oh, okay. Hang on a minute. I looked at it and said it should be done during a meeting, that's why.
You're right. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Jess. All right. So we take that away then. Updates? Jess, you got anything spectacular? That will take less than spectacular.
I can't even. Siding guy responded immediately, still interested at the same price, and then he
That's a good thing.
won't respond on a time frame.
Jeez.
So I'm just gonna ride it out for now. I mean, it's
Not going anywhere.
no, it's fine. I just, if I run into somebody else that I think wants the job or is capable of doing it for the same price, then I'll bring it up to him. But until then, I'm gonna hold out that he'll come
Okay.
through. If I run into him, I probably can get an answer out of him if I can run into him, but in the village. But I haven't seemed to been able to do that.
I've checked with you on our AV equipment. 5 pieces are still on back order, but 2 of them have a shipment date of tomorrow, so hopefully next month we'll be able to get this AV project completed. West End Camp, I'm still having trouble getting in touch with the director. This is to see if they'll continue their program of offering scholarships to a couple of Parsonsfield children, because they do that because they appreciate the town and not having to pay taxes, obviously, and the services the town provides with rescue and fire and all police and all that good stuff. So we support the camp in a lot of ways. Jane's Walk, we had the Parsonsfield Porter Historical Society is offering Jane's Walk, which is May 6th. Lynn Sedlows was a sponsor of that, or was working with that. And we're just supplying some traffic cones for her to help keep her people safe.
What is that called? Jane's?
Jane's Walk. Yes, it's
Janes?
Janes.
Okay, I wonder what reference that is.
In honor of Jane Jacobs, a community activist who led short neighborhood walks through her community, focusing on the history of the area.
Oh, okay, thank you. Perfect.
Parsonsfield Porter Historical Society, Maine Preservation. So.
Great.
It's something we should post this down.
Sure, you could, at least on the calendar, maybe.
And last on my list is we wrote a short note to a resident who wanted to move a stone wall. However,
They wanted to move it, or they did move it?
well,
They started moving it.
He was like practicing.
I guess I'll check it out. I'm drive by on the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just mentioned the size of the road, and you really can't build anything more than less than 24 feet from the center of the road. And he's been talked to a couple times, and we just sent him a little note to reinforce that concept. Dave, I know you got your list. I left you to last because you generally have the longest list.
Okay, to follow on Jesse's siding contractor, we had a little competition going between when the generator would be hooked up and when the siding got hooked up. Well, since the generator was hooked up and I won that part, I've been trying to remember to go out there at 10 o'clock on Tuesdays when it does its self-test. So I went out at 10 o'clock this morning, set an alarm to make sure I didn't miss it, and guess what? No self-test. So I pulled the access panel off, and it's got a little display and a bunch of LEDs, completely black. Push the reset button, nothing. So we had a dead generator.
We have, or we had?
Had. So I emailed the folks at PowerPoint, very responsive, said they had someone in Rye, New Hampshire at the time, and they would come out as soon as they were done with that project. He came, I don't know, 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and the circuit breaker, the 110 volt circuit breaker for the control circuit, which includes the battery charger and all of the electronics, had tripped. Don't know why. We're hoping it's just a fluke, but I need to keep an eye on it now.
So is it supposed to chart once a week? It starts?
Yeah, once a week it does a self-test, 10 a.m. on Tuesdays.
Okay.
So I'm going to set another alarm for next Tuesday, since I'm here anyways. I also asked him about remote, well, I had asked him about remote, the words are escaping me.
Remote
Watching.
access?
Yeah, access, thank you, that works.
Oh, good.
And was told we need a Cat 6 cable going out to the generator. So I'm gonna wire a cable out to the generator. They already have one small conduit that has their control line going through it, no AC. So I will stick another cable through there, and then it has to go back to our switch in the utility room. And then they will come out and hook it up inside the generator, and they've got to pull a password apparently off of the control circuit that we then need when we get their access
So what will this
software. Oh, let me sit here and say, oh, the generator is dead instead of
Okay.
having to pull the side access panel off.
Okay.
Looking at it. So, and we have the cable. I mean, we bought enough cable to wire this building and 3 others when we moved in here. So, okay. I have been getting numerous emails that are spam. They say things like, "Thank you for contacting us. Please call us or email us back with your information," or "Your contract is attached." And, you know, these are spam, and they're probably bad spam. So please, if you get things like that and they aren't people that you contacted, just delete them. You can look at the email, just don't open any attachments. Looking at the email won't do any harm. Opening attachments will do harm, or may do harm. Okay, Ed and I had a little discussion about our audits. You know, we talked about it last week, and we are, at the time, we were thinking we were 2 years behind, or there were 2 years that we were waiting, but realistically, we're waiting for 3 years. The year ending July 30th of 20, 21, and 22. And I'm sorry, but this is not acceptable. I understand that there were issues with older audits, but that's all been caught up. I also understand that this year is going to be a difficult one because of our changeover from QuickBooks. But those 3 we need. I mean, you know, we are not fulfilling a state requirement. So we need to follow up on that.
Follow up as in we need to bug them? Or?
Yeah. Find out what their projected delivery dates or completion dates are and go from there. Okay, we talked about the bank and Danielle's report. Recycling. We have a recycling requirement in the town. Everybody is supposed to recycle. Our recycling rate, though, has consistently been less than 10%, which is pretty bad. There are about, I don't have it up anymore, there are about 30 towns that EcoMaine or EcoMaine does recycling for, and we are the 4th from the bottom. They run anywhere from 5% up to about 30%. And we're at 9.8, or have been for a while. One town is 100%, but obviously they don't pick up trash in that town. It's all recycling. So anyways, I don't know what to do except, please folks, recycling is so easy. If you need a sticker, come in and we'll give you one.
They'll even, and I shouldn't say, maybe they get to know house to house, but I mean, my wife has 4 barrels of recycling and they don't have stickers on them, and they put it in the recycling
Yeah.
every time. You know, it's because recycling can be loose.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
so obvious. If you have the top off and the recycling's loose, it's obvious to them it's recycling and not trash. They know the drill. So you don't even need the sticker. It's nice if you have the sticker, but if you don't have one, loose recycling, plastic milk jug, they notice it, they put it in the recycling.
Yeah, I do recommend the sticker only because, first of all, if you're someone who is just starting to recycle, they may not recognize it. Second of all, if they happen to get a different driver who doesn't recognize things, I mean, stickers are free.
Yep.
Come and get them. Okay. Plow contract was completed and made available right after the meeting last week. Interest in that? Has there been? I know you mentioned this morning that there were a couple of people.
1, 2, 3 packets have gone out.
Oh, excellent. So 3 packages went out. Folks, we're looking for some interest there. Obviously, if anybody on the board knows of people who might be interested, let them know it's available. We can even give you copies of the contract. Okay, we talked, or Danielle mentioned the website for the CEO report. We got that and the ACO and the deputy that we need to get up.
ACO's up.
Oh, ACO's up. Okay, thank you.
That's done.
Okay, excellent. I still have not corrected that shifting issue with the tax maps. I should mention this. If you go to look at a tax map, don't click on the numbers that are on the map because we did some shifting and they aren't aligning properly. Click on the references at the bottom because they're working fine, and we'll get that cleared up shortly. And I think that's it.
Okay. We have no guests or visitors today. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Can we just mention, I don't know if you mentioned the MSAD 55 warrants that we signed. Did we mention the dates for those? You did, I guess, in your report,
mentioned it,
Danielle.
but I was
That's right.
questioning
Okay.
the warrant.
Yep. Okay, that's good. My short-term memory is marginal.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening, folks. We'll talk to you next week. Maybe we'll have more good news. Who knows?
Can I just ask for a moment?